I started Camco when I was 26. And I was just looking for opportunities. And just in talking to our customers, they would say, why don't you do this? And that's what you're looking for. Why don't you do this? And so those basically is where we got the ideas from, was from our customers saying, we have an issue here, we have an issue there. Why don't you solve this problem? And so basically just solving problems.
How would I describe my dad? Well, he's a hard worker. He was always very family-oriented. Family and business, a lot of times, all became one.
Very driven, very ambitious, very hardworking.
Greensboro is where I was born and raised. I was raised on a 120-acre farm, and it was a tobacco farm and a dairy farm. My dad was deaf. He was extremely dexterous and could build anything, and was very smart as far as doing things. But my mother ran the show and ran the finances, and so I think I learned from her. Farm work and running a business are identical. It's running a business, but it's a tough business. It's much tougher than most businesses that you get into. So running a farm was a very good upbringing. I'd started at Atlantic Mobile Home Suppliers, which was a distributorship that sold the products that we now manufacture. 1950, I'd started there, and I had, I guess somewhere around early 60s, my boss man had a heart attack. And at that point, I had to jump in and start running Atlantic. And I started doing all of mine. Up until then, I was just I work at the counter and do whatever everybody else did. But my boss had come back after about 4 months. And Atlantic was doing extremely well. As a matter of fact, a lot of the stuff he was buying, I had improved on it. And so after that, I could do no wrong. I was Mr. Wonderful from then on out. So that's how I gained the respect from him. And I could do, like I said, I could just about do anything that I wanted to do, and did very well. So somewhere thereafter, I just realized I was doing it all, and I may as well do it on my own.
From the time we were married and the time he went to school, college, we knew that Don was going to have his own business.
The boss that I worked for, his name was Myers, Wade Myers. And needing the name for Camco, I approached him about C&M products. And that was what we started off with. 1966, started off as C&M, Caine and Myers. And in 1968, when we incorporated it, we went from C&M to Camco. I started with antifreeze because I was doing the buying at Atlantic, and saw that there was a market for an antifreeze, and this was an antifreeze for mobile homes, an antifreeze that they put in the toilets and the sink, the traps in the sinks to keep them from freezing.
The challenges that Camco faced initially was just coming into existence. We only had like one product, which was TPA at the time, which is the plumbing antifreeze.
I took an old oil drum rack and took a 55-gallon drum and cut the top out of it. Just cut a little hole in the top, and would pour the calcium chloride in that and fill it full of water. Put a little coloring in it and get up in there with a 2x2 and mix it real good, and then get back and give it the old faucet. So, you know, I think they started running smoother. Somewhere after I incorporated in 1968, we started manufacturing a water heater element. Then after that, we started looking for products in the trailer industry, mobile home RV industry. And the RV industry was coming alive at about that point.
It ran fairly smoothly. We were able to add customers and products, and eventually could afford an employee. And it was just something that happened.
In 1976, I moved to Patterson Street. I moved from a 5,000 square foot building to an 11,000 square foot building.
And oh, we were so proud of that because it was our very first plant.
And then in that meantime, I came over and found this lot that Camco is on now. And in 1981, we built the first part of this building. And since then, obviously, we've added a lot to it. We continued to add, and Camco continued to grow. We got to the point that we needed to get the new people in here, get this new management team. That was quite a challenge and quite nice. I guess somewhere around 2000, I think Lisa Cook started working there about 2001, and she became the CEO in 2008.
I'm afraid our children really did grow up at Camco, and I'm not sure they were always happy about it, but we always told them this company is Don and my dream, and we don't expect you to go to work there. It was one thing for us to have a dream, but they deserved their own dreams. They did work there when they were younger. As a matter of fact, they were drug over there all the time and worked in the back.
One of the first memories I have of Camco was, I guess John might have been 3 or 4, and I was older. We'd come in, and Dad would give John a pallet to hammer nails into, and I would go through the mail, and I could look through the envelope and tell whether it was a bill or a check, and I'd separate them.
My earliest memory of Camco was after a really, really big rainstorm. I was probably 5 or 6 years old, and we were in that very small building behind what used to be Atlantic Mobile Home, and it rained so heavily that the entire building flooded, and we all had push brooms and were pushing water out of the building, out of the loading docks.
I would come to Camco and I would work there out in the plant. I guess I worked there until I started driving, and then I went and got a job elsewhere. And I didn't come back until I was married and my children were born, and then once both my children were out of school, I was full-time, I guess, at that point, and have been there ever since.
We are so happy that they all decided to come back to work for Camco and are now, in there helping to make it bigger and better. Don says it's the best thing that's ever happened to Camco, the people that are running it now.
I think we're going to continue to get bigger. I think we're going to continue to add product to it. I think it's just going to evolve and expand into something that we never thought. It is not anywhere near what we thought it was going to be. It's going to continue to change and grow. The one thing I hope we don't ever lose, and it's my mission to maintain the small family atmosphere no matter how large we get.
I'm most proud of I think the people that we have here. We have a real high caliber group of people. I've always felt like 1,000 people are working here, or at least these 1,000 people feel like it's the best job that they can get, or they would find some other place. So I feel like we're contributing to people.
It's just been so nice for me to meet these people and know that they're employees and they're willing to stay there with us, and to see them grow up and watch their children grow up. And I think that's really the part that I like best, that and the part that, they've all joined together and helped make Camco the success that it is now. It's far more than we ever imagined when we first started it. All we had started out to do was just make a living and raise our family, send them to school. But it's gone, it's gone far beyond that. And as Don and I both know, it took all of the employees that we have had over the years to make this happen, and we're so grateful.